There is something happening in me. My suspicion is in you and all over this planet right now. And my best understanding of what is happening is that a new church is emerging, coming into being. That this vision of the New Jerusalem from Revelation that so many of us have been reading and holding for so many generations is coming into being, manifesting in a more real way, perhaps, than ever before. If I had grown up in a different religious tradition, perhaps I would have a different image to explain what is occurring right now. But this is mine. This is the tradition that I have received that best reflects the experience that I'm having right now and that I'm witnessing in others. If you're listening to this video, if you're tuning in to what I'm sharing, chances are pretty high that this is an image that resonates with you as well. And perhaps an experience that you are also having. I want to name that this Sunday morning. I just got off of a call with the community in Kenya that I collaborate with. We just had our global New Church prayer circle and our celebration of June 19th, which comes this Friday, which marks for us in the New Church tradition the beginning emergence of this new church back in the 1700s. And over these last few hundred years, my take is that emergence has been picking up speed and is perhaps at the fastest fever pitch that it has ever been at before, right now, inside of us and throughout our communities. The evidence for this, my sense of who I am is quickly shifting. And the identity that I've carried for 49 years, the ego structure that I have carried, is quickly being revealed to me. The limiting ideas and perspectives of who I can be, of what I believe is possible, the limitations that I have carried for much of my life are being exposed. They're being lifted up and put in my face for me to feel and experience. And I am moving through deep waves of grief, of rage, of fear. All of these feelings are moving through me that my best sense is they have been trapped over the decades of my life within this ego structure that is showing itself, is revealing itself, perhaps, hopefully, to be dissolved and transformed. And this process of disillusion and transformation is what this new church is all about. This idea that we are here to be reborn spiritually, to be changed, to be transformed. And that transformation includes this healing process, this process of moving through and transforming our egoic structures so that it can open up to something new, open up to possibilities of actual heavenly experiences here on earth, experiences of community and flow and connection that are not possible when we only live within that older egoic structure. And I see this, I'm witnessing this experience in myself. And I must confess to you, and I've been pretty forthright about this disillusion process is not fun at all. And I see so many humans all around the planet going through this disillusion process, seeing themselves, seeing their habits, and starting to suspect that there might be something beyond a constricted identity, something beyond what they have always known. And many, many people are, through many different modalities and processes and experiences, are going through this disillusion and recreation. And I am right in the thick of it. I have been in the thick of it. To be alive right now, I think, is to be in the thick of it, and to be okay with that, to be okay with being in process. And that is, in my sense, part of what it is to step into the new church, is to honor and recognize that we are in process, that we are being grown by God, that we are being changed, that we are being transformed. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to be in this flow of love and transformation and messiness, that there's something sacred in that. And what I perceive in the world at large, and this is probably a big generalization, but we all sort of, from our vantage point, look out at the world and have a perspective. And there's perhaps value in all of our different perspectives. And let me share mine. My perspective when I look out at the world is that many people are in the same place I am, being dissolved, being reformed, seeing themselves more deeply, in the thick and the mess of it, in the work of it, sometimes despairing, sometimes full of ecstasy, being humbled, while also coming to recognize their divinity and their gifts and their callings. So there's a lot of the population is right where I am and right in this mess. And then there's a certain section of the population that is kind of doubling down on that egoic structure. And sort of, my sense is terrified to step into that messy place. And so just standing firm in the ego that they have inherited, come hell or high water. And kind of parading around in those egos in a way that for the rest of us, we sort of look at that and it appears more ridiculous than ever before. And for those of us in the mess, for those of us in this humbling process, we're just looking at these egos and we can see right through them. It's like the emperor without any clothes. And it just feels utterly ridiculous. Because those of us who have stepped into this ego disillusion, we are seeing beyond our own egos. And so it's quite easy to see beyond the egos of others. And it's scary sometimes because we're in process, right? So we're still caught in fear and survival. And many of those people who are holding tightly to their egoic structures are doing so because they are in positions of power and they have money and resources in this material plane. And so they see the benefit of holding on. And so when we are continuing to live in our egos, when that continues to show up, we feel fear and we feel like that they're ridiculous, but that we still perceive that they have power and authority over us. Because in many ways they do continue to hold power and authority over this material plane. And yet on a spiritual level, on the most real level, on the real ground of our being, the power really lies in those of us who are in this process of transformation, because we're getting down to what is real. And what is real is not, it's not this material plane. It's not this egoic plane. It's not this long history of stories that have set us apart from one another, that have caused so much harm, so much violence and disparity and cruelty. And I don't need to go on and on about it. So those of us who are in this process of disillusion, we're actually getting back to what is real. We're getting back to the truth that is just so apparent. And yet all of these systems of separation have been shielding us, holding back this truth, trying to kind of hold the power so that the one we somehow believe this one should have all the power, or this one should have all the resources, these people with this color skin or in this part of the world. We're starting to see through that and to tap into the real truth and to the real power, which is that we are all beloved children of God, of divinity. We all come from one source of life. And that source of life is in us equally, each one of us. We all have a kingdom within, a connection to this source of love and truth and life. And it's that connection where the real joy of life comes from. And that connection has power. It has power to change us. And it is what is doing this transformation that so many of us are experiencing. This powerful force, this divine source that is actually living through all of us. And it is orchestrating this grand disillusion time that we're in. And those who are parading around with their big egos and their power and their money, their paper, their prestige, their privilege, eventually, and it's not going to take very long, we're going to start to see through that. We are seeing through that. And more of us are going to see through that. And we're going to start to look to new forms of leadership, new forms of life that are fueled by reality, that are fueled by this real love that is pouring through every single person on this planet right now, en masse. I just gathered this morning with the people of the new church in Kenya, and they are gathering, and there were many more gathered this June 19th than last year. So there's something moving all over this globe, all over this planet, in every single person, as we wake up to our divine birthright. And we start to recognize that that is where true power lives, not in these parading egoic forms that have been holding the reins, not outside of ourselves, but inside of us and between us, this force of love and truth. The new church is descending. It is coming into being. This new Jerusalem that we were promised so many thousands of years ago has been coming, and it is coming, and it is coming in this inner experience and process of transformation and regeneration that if you are going through it, friend, we are one. It feels like a very individual journey. I certainly, over these last 5 years, have felt like I am so different from most other people, and it's so hard to talk about, and it's so hard to find community because it is this internal process that we do have to kind of go through on our own. But at the same time, I'm quite certain I am not the only one going through it, that many of us are. And maybe we're starting to get to the place, I believe we are starting to come to a place of being able to find each other again and speak to this process. And for me, as a minister in the new church, as a member of a community that has for many decades been proclaiming that this new Jerusalem, this new church is coming into being, that this promise of life that Jesus showed us so many thousands of years ago, this divine human life that he walked and witnessed to, is an invitation for us to follow, to bring the divinity of our own lives out into the world and to live from there fully, completely, devotedly. And that is what is going to bring power and transformation into this world. That is what is going to knit new communities of peace and connection. And it's happening, friends. I witnessed it this morning with these connections with my friends in Kenya. I'm witnessing it in so many ways, in relationships and conversations and connections that are happening within the new church community and with new people who I am meeting and connecting to. And if you're watching this video and you're feeling this transformation in you, just know that I'm with you. And I pray and I hope that my work with the Helen Keller Spiritual Life Collaborative can be a part of making some room, making some more space and more room in the world for us to be on this regenerative journey and knit together new forms of life, new forms of new church life that can nurture new generations of beings on this planet to live in a new way. It's not always easy to talk about, but I hope more than the words I'm saying, you are receiving the feeling that I have. And maybe you can sense where something in me deep within connects to something with you. Because I am learning to trust that. The source of these words is that. And words can get us off track. But this heart of being, I don't think it can be misinterpreted. So from my heart to yours, friends, happy Sunday, happy June 19th, and may you continue to trust this new life that is emerging inside through us together. Happy Sunday.